All right, y'all. What's up? What's up? This is He Knows Everything, bringing you that heat and that fire. Got a special guest in the building. Hopefully, this is going to be a long tenured relationship. Lala, what's up, Lala? How you doing today?
Good.
Okay, you ready?
Hmm.
Okay, so let's get on to it. People gonna come in as they come in, they come in. But I really want to delve into this because it's been upon my heart. Black men, black women. It's just the world is crazy, especially nowadays. You have a lot of black men that they just don't want to take ownership of being black men and understanding what it is to be a black king in society, understanding what it is to be a leader. They're just rejecting that ideal. Obviously, there's childhood trauma that comes from that, there's experiences that come from that. And then you have black women that, unfortunately, a lot of them are through childhood trauma, through a lot of situations where they were raised in a single parent environment, where they were raised, where they just had to figure things out themselves. It's kind of like a revolving cycle, a revolving window, and it just keeps multiplying over and over and over again. I really want to know your idea, your mindset, your take on how you see this from a black woman's perspective and a black woman's view in 2022.
My perspective on like the single mothers and stuff.
Just in general, you as a black woman, what you have to deal with as being a black woman in 2022.
I feel like some of us we got too much freedom. Like you go to other countries, they can't do the same things as we can do. Like we can, I don't know, we like more sexually liberated. We can go outside like literally with a thong on. And you see people like at the beach that have like the I don't know what it's called, like the swimsuit, but it's like the neck covering.
Hmm.
Like you really can see people out there like at the grocery stores dressed like that.
They don't
You
leave
know,
none to imagination, basically.
yeah, that's true. Like, we just more free. We more freer than other countries. Other countries we can talk back to our significant others with no problems. Other countries you talk back, you might get slapped, killed. They ain't gonna do nothing because you ain't respecting your husband. I ain't saying we should be treated like that, but we should have a little we should be like a little more strict on ourselves. But some people,
What do you
black
mean when
women,
you say a little bit more strict on yourself?
what you said?
What do you mean when you say a little more strict on yourself?
Mm, Like, set more boundaries, set better boundaries.
Okay.
Like dress better when you know how they be like, oh, I ain't when they be like, oh, because I dress like this, that don't mean you can treat me like that. That's true in the
Hmm.
sense you can't because you dress a certain way, like you wearing a thong outside with a t-shirt or crop top. You and nobody ain't saying treat you like a hoe, but if you dress like that, they gonna treat you like that. They gonna approach you like
Mm.
that, stuff like that.
So why do you feel like that? Why do you feel that if you dress like a hoe, they're gonna treat you like a hoe? You brought it up. I want to know what your take is on that.
Like you say you go to the club, you
Hmm.
you dress like hoe, acting like a hoe, doing all this stuff. They gonna like they gonna talk to you, they gonna treat you like they gonna come to you like, hey, you wanna go have sex in my car? But then you in the club, just dancing regular. They ain't gonna really come to you, approach you that way. Cause everybody now, I'm not blaming. You can't blame the celebrities like Hot Girl Summer, F that, like F that hitter. You can't blame them. Like I hate people blame social media for everything. They say, "Oh, it's social media. That's why we acting like that. Social media. That's why we acting like that." No, it's you too. You have a choice to be like, "Oh, they intake this stuff too." Like people forget. They be like, they think diet is just something you eat. The diet is stuff you control too. Like your diet when you wake up, the social media, the people you hang around. That's part of your diet
Hmm.
too. You just
Hmm.
thinking something you eating every day. That's part of your soon as people wake up, they get on social media seeing what other people doing, what other people want to do, what other people thinking, instead of worry about what they thinking, like how they feel. Some people just go with the flow, be like, oh, they dress like this, so I'm gonna dress like this. Like I feel like in society, mostly everybody. I'm in my 30s, but I feel like some people that's in their 20s, even some people in their 30s, they think, oh, if I be a rapper baby mama, I'm gonna have a life like this person. If I be a athlete baby mama, I'm gonna have a life like them. But now nine times change. Now these athletes and rappers being smart, they donating to the mayors. They moving to Texas. Like if you move to Texas, they got a limit on child support. It ain't like they back in the days when you can get all this money on child support. And respect your body. Stop having so many sexual partners. They making themselves high risk of STDs, STIs,
Mhm.
unwanted pregnancies, babies that they don't want. They want to be like, okay, I'm gonna be pregnant with this baby thing. I'm gonna be secure for 18
So hold on
years.
for a second. You just said a lot of sexual partners. So you frown upon women that have high body counts?
Mm, I really don't because it
Mhm.
ain't up to me. But people they be now they blasted. Back in the day, if somebody that had a high body count, you wouldn't know. You like the inner circle would know, but it wouldn't be blasted like to the whole world. Be like, I had sex with this person, that person, that person. Because I can't frown upon nobody what they do with their body because that's what they do with their body. That's like me getting mad at somebody having tattoos. I can't get mad because they want to have tattoos and I don't have tattoos. But I'm just
Mhm.
saying, you can have how many partners you want. Just don't get mad when you put it out there to the world. And then when they call you a certain name, you like, oh my God, why y'all treat me like this? Oh my God, I hate the world. Oh my God, I hate social media. That's why I hate social media. You put that out there. Nobody will know how many partners you have if you don't put it out there.
Now, do you believe? Salute, Rip B. Brazy. Make sure y'all when y'all come into the platform, man, y'all donate to motivate, man, because Lala's she's going in, man. She's giving y'all some heat and fire right now. But my take on it is this, Lala. Like I hear you, right? I understand, and I'm processing what you're saying. But we are the product of what we put in. It's just like what we put in food wise, right? What we put in our minds, right? But it's also how many people we've allowed to enter our bodies. What people don't understand is the bed can be undefiled. The bed can be undefiled many times over. And every time you have consummation, right? Which is the way the Bible describes it. But in human terms, I'm going to make it simple for everybody. The sex, you having sexual intimacy, you having sexual relations with people. Every time you have that, that is a soul tie with another person, another individual. You're taking on that person's emotions. You're taking on that person's baggage. You're taking on that person's trauma. You're taking on that person's life experiences every time you have that with the next person. So what we have is a cycle of a whole bunch of people and that's men and women included, that the higher your body count goes, the higher you enter into what's called sexual relationships between you and the woman. You're going to have situations where you're going to be taking on more and more. So that's more and more baggage you got to deal with that person. So to me, body count is very important, because the reason why I say that is because it tells me the type of individual you are. And in this modern day era, we have IG thoughts, we have IG models, we have, social media, and it's just taking things to the next level. OnlyFans. We got women out here, like you just said, back in the day, it was kind of like a taboo thing. You had to go to the club, you had to be out and about in person to see this. Nowadays, it's all over the place on social media. In my estimation, view social media as a forum that has told women, if you was a hoe, social media makes you a hoe on steroids. If you was a thought, social media makes you a thought on steroids. If you were a great modest apparel woman, social media made you a great modest apparel woman on steroids. This is the mindset I have. This is how I view it. So social media has taken whatever your original mindset, whatever your original thought process, and has magnified it and put it on steroid. We as individuals are going to be the product of who we are, regardless. When it's all said and done, there's a terminology that says familiarity breeds complacency. So when it's all said and done, people are going to go back to what they're familiar with. They're going to go back to what they're used to understanding, used to experiencing, used to doing. So although I hear you when you say, a person has a body count that's not up to me. You're right. That's not up to you. If someone's LGBTQ, that's not up to you. But see, here's the thing. People have to realize they're going to be accountable for whatever stigmas that they have attached to them. They're going to be accountable for whatever title and label and whatever experiences they have. And they can't fault the next person that they're trying to get in the relationship with that's going to judge them based on that. Okay, you say you know you was an IG model, or you say you was an IG thought, you say you know you slept with 100 guys. The next guy may not, he hears that, he may not want to deal with all of that. So that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't realize that you are going to get older. You're going to deal with future relationships. You're going to deal with future situations, and you're going to have future what do they call it these days and age? I've heard this from a lot of women, situationships. I don't even know what the fuck that is, but people say that nowadays, situationships. I thought back in the days it was called relationship. I thought it was just called people getting together and people conjoining and having what's called their form of matrimony, and we're gonna get into that too. But I really want to know, how do you see it with people having to their future? It's like people live in the present now, but they don't realize there's going to be a future version of themselves that has to be accountable for their present actions.
You said how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I see it's gonna be a lot of lonely people. When they
What?
people, people on their deathbed, they be like, "Oh, do you have anybody that we can contact? We have anybody that
Mm-hmm.
we can contact." And then they ain't gonna have nobody to contact. They gonna have their family. Anybody else? You had a husband, a wife, kids. That's all I see. It's gonna be a lot of lonely people wishing they would have had more time, wishing they would have went back in time, settled down. You know how to be like, "Oh my God, this person was a good person. I wish I would have went with him." That's all I was gonna see. It's a lot of lonely people. People gonna be dying alone.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something right now, and I'm gonna tell you a cold hard truth behind that. That's not something that's abnormal. People die alone regardless.
I
Because
know that.
when you die, and you give up that ghost, you gonna give it up by yourself. But you're talking about basically at the deathbed, like nobody's gonna be there with them to support them before they go. Is that what you're referring to?
I mean, like when they get old, like they
Okay.
ain't gonna get old together with nobody. They gonna be, you know, how everybody when they get old, at least somebody they can talk to, experience stuff together
Mhm.
with. You know, people wanna grow old together. People wanna have time experience stuff. People don't want to do that no more. Well, they do want to do it, but when it's too late.
Okay. So now you talk about growing old. Who do you think is gonna affect more, the man or the woman, in the growing old aspect
The
and dying
women,
alone?
you know, I think it'll affect the women because I don't know. I think it affect women because you know you see some people grandparents, they grandma die, and then their granddaddy can just get a younger person.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy for him to get a younger woman because she ain't gonna care. He knows she just want him for his money, and he ain't gonna care because he lived his life. He can just have sex with her. He ain't gotta put too much in it. The women, they gonna be like, oh man, I wish I'd have had this kid. I wish I'd have did this. I wish I'd have did that. Or they
Mm-hmm.
wish they have multiple kids from multiple daddies, and then you know, I really don't know, but
I'm loving this. I'm loving the woman's take on this, and I'm loving the fact that we having this dynamic here, because this is what I've been talking about, and I'm glad that it's coming from a woman's mouth, a woman's perspective. Women are gonna feel it more because by nature they are emotional creatures. By nature they are designed to have companionship. They have a biological clock. They're racing against it. There's nothing wrong with a woman going out there saying they want to get an education. They want to go out there and they want to better themselves. They want to do all of these things. Honestly, I don't have a problem with that. But make sure that when all of that stuff is happening, it's not going against your biological clock, and it's not going against the anatomy that you have as a woman, and you trying to prep yourself for a family. Heck, we get out of high school at what, 17, 18 years old? And if you go to college and you do it the right way, 18 to 22, you still within age if you do your 4 years of college, right? Or if you do your vocational school or technical school, whatever it is, you still within age by 22 to be within the guidelines of that biological clock. Now, if you say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be this, I want to be that, now this is when you start. You see, you're looking at professions that's warring. It's like a war against the biological clock, because unfortunately, it's not me. Science tells us that, history tells us that women have high pregnancy issues and high risk of pregnancy in their mid to late 30s. And then let them start hitting their late 30s going into their 40s, that high risk becomes even that much more higher. And what you're finding is a lot of women are saying, okay, now I've gotten the degree, now I've gotten the education, now I've gotten this, I've gotten that, now I'm ready to settle down. They've prioritized themselves first, but in all instance, from the beginning, from the inception of time, from a biblical standpoint, they were supposed to prioritize their biological clock first, because it's all about procreation. People are so self-oriented, they're so self-preservation mindset, they're so into selfishness, into ego, that they're not realizing that the whole existence of me, you, and our being on this planet is for legacy. Legacy comes in the form of biological DNA. The next individual that you leave, you've already set up legacy. You got a 3-year-old and you got a 4-year-old. So your legacy's set. That's what legacy is. It's not about, oh, I obtained this, I obtained that, I've gotten this, I've gotten that. That's a good additive to it. That's a good addendum to it. But that's not the requirement for legacy. Legacy is basically leaving another DNA behind that replicates you, so that way you can continue to replicate the world, and the world can be fruitful and multiply. But people are not seeing it like that. And this is where you look at the social norms and you look at the differences between not only black and black men and black women, right? Because we got it all twisted. We got it all messed up. Slavery screwed us up big time with that. And that's another thing we can talk about. But when you look at other ethnicities, right? You look at other cultures, other groups, they have it together. These women that were crying about feminism, which to me is just a cloak of the enemy to create a wedge between man and woman. And you sit there and you look at how feminism has taken a root in our culture, black women, and how they've just basically taken that on with stride. These same white women that came about with feminism, which started back in World War II, the whole emphasis behind that was because there were men that went to war. So because they went to war, these women had to take on responsibilities that normally they weren't meant to take on, because they didn't know if these men were going to come back. And rightfully so. They now are the ones that are going to have to take care of the family and do what they're supposed to. So they get government assistance, they get food stamps, they get all of these things, right? And then what ends up happening after so many years of wars being fought and wars going back and forth, warring with one another, these men actually come back. Most of them come back. So what do you think these women do when these men come back? They go back into their original state. Haven't you realized that a lot of these white women that sit here and tell you, I'm a feminist, I am all about feminism, they end up having families. They end up settling down at the right ages. They end up having children. And then they end up having multiple kids, and they end up falling in line up under these husbands that they so-called have. But these black women say, no, I don't need a fucking man. Food stamps hit them so many years ago, and you got generational line of women telling women, you know what? You don't need a man in that house, because if you got a man in the house, you can't get that government assistance. You can't get that food stamp. So you got to keep them away. You got to be in that baby mama status, because if you stay in that baby mama status, you are going to get the assistance. Right there, that's an indoctrination to keep separation of family, to keep it in a dividing line. And then on top of that, well, you don't need a man to justify you. If he could do anything, you could do it better. And, why can't you sit there and spread your legs for all of these guys? Why can't you sit there and jump from one man to the next? And then this is where feminism, aka masculine energy, comes into play. Because you can't have two masculine energies in a household. You can't have two men in a household. Does Beelzebub cast out Beelzebub? That don't make sense. Somebody gonna be the masculine and somebody gonna be the feminine. And this is what you're seeing now. You're seeing an evolution of men today are saying, you know what? Fuck y'all. Y'all want to sit here and say y'all are on equal playing field with us. Y'all are men. Well, go be the men yourself. We ain't dealing with that shit. And then that's why you have now a lot of women on their soapbox telling a lot of other women, y'all fucking it up for us right now. Y'all messing it up. Now all of these men out here are not even looking for us. They're not even approaching us. There used to be a time where it made sense for men to approach women. Shoot, men are supposed to approach women because men are leaders. They're supposed to go out there and take. That's what our God-given ability was, to go out there and take whatever we wanted. Whatever we saw fit, we went out there and took it, and that included a woman. But if women are acting in our positioning, how the hell are we going to go out there and take? That doesn't make sense. So what's your take on it?
They are married to men. They married to the government. The government take care of them, feed them, get them shelter. They are married, but not to a man they can sleep with, the man they can tell them what to do. They man do tell them what to do. The government tell them, you can't do this with your assistant, you can't do that. So in a sense, they are married. That's why when you say, oh, the government messed them up, it did. And some people like, well, I do want a man, but if I do this and I do that, I can't get this and I can't get that. Or if he in the house, he can't. I can't get these type of assistance. And some people don't want. Some people don't want to get off the assistance because they take care of. Like I got a friend. She worked for what? She worked for I don't know. I think she worked for the food stamp office. I don't know. She worked for something like that. And she was like, they provide housing, health insurance, dental insurance. I'm like, that's why they ain't getting married. That's why some people, when somebody's like, they be generational. What's her name? What is that lady name? Black China Mama, when they was going in on her, she was like, y'all just some food stamps welfare recipients. She was telling them, nah, you got to take the good with the bad. Sometimes she be saying a lot of crazy stuff, but that's one thing she said the truth. Your great grandma was on welfare assistance. She stayed up the street. Your grandma, your mama, all y'all saying in the same place.
Are you talking
Nobody,
about public assistance?
huh?
Are you talking about public assistance?
Assistance, whatever it's called. That's true. It's like my great grandma did it. My grandma did it. Everybody want to keep doing the same things. Nobody, or some people, the other thing, some people scared to get out. They be like, if I make too much money, what if I fall back and I need to get on it? So some people, just don't want to make enough money to get out.
Okay.
To get out of the situation. And some people they want a man, but they just don't want a man to tell them what to do.
So why do you feel that they want a man, but they don't want the man to tell them what to do? What has perpetuated that? What has created that?
Well, you know how people be like, oh, I'm a boss, some of this, I got my own business, I do this and I do that. The only thing I need a man for is to have sex. That's what social media and the TV tell them. You got the ladies, they'll be sitting up there taking the pictures, crossing their arms. So this is what a boss lady went like. And every time you see a picture, most of the ladies that you see that so-called boss, you never see them with a man. You never see them with anything other than they just sit there looking mean, or they got kids, they not married. Some of them you do. Rarely,
So
some of them you.
why you think they're there by themselves, not with a man, talking about they the boss chick and all of this stuff? Why do you think they have that whole oxymoron going on, that catch-22?
Because they too manly. They the man, and the man don't want to be with another man, a strong man. That's why they too manly. They want two men can't stay in the house and try to be the head of the household. Somebody got to be the head. Somebody got to be the neck. But everybody want to be the head all the time.
So who's the head and who's the neck?
I don't know. That's them. They the boss, not me.
I'm asking you, between the dynamics of the man and the woman, who's the head and who's the neck?
In my household, my significant other the head, I'm the neck, and then the kids fall in line.
Whoosh. Can you say that again? Can you say that again? Because I think people need to hear that.
In my household, my significant other the head, and I'm the neck, and my kids fall in line.
Okay.
Me, I personally don't want to be in charge. Yeah, like we got a gun, but it's licensed. But let me tell you something. I got certified license, but I don't know how to shoot that good. So why would somebody come bust down my door, gotta be the one to go run downstairs and start shooting? No, I might shoot myself. I might shoot the mirrors off the wall. I don't got time to be trying to protect the whole household, and I do not want to protect the whole household. So why would I want to be the head of the household to protect everybody, including myself. No, I want to leave that responsibility to somebody else that's stronger. I might be strong. I tell people, I can lift my own body weight. Anything under me, I'm not lifting up. So
I think that is very interesting that you said that, because the message that you reverberated, and I think women are going to start getting healed by what you said, is very important. The man should be the head, the woman should be the neck, and then you have the children. Basically, you're not trying to take on a responsibility that you expect him to take on, because why the hell are you with him in the first place, right? It could be because that was the way you were raised, or it could be that was your mindset. You tell me, is that the way you were raised? Is that your mindset? Like, is that how you always saw it? Like, what's your take on it?
no, that wasn't the way I was raised.
Okay.
But I seen other people, you know how you see single parent home. Like my daddy got shot and killed. But my brothers and my sister daddies, they was there like I had two daddies. But I seen other people like my family member, everybody wanna be, oh, they don't need a man, they don't need a man. I always, and then when I was like 20 years old, my friend invited me to a wedding. They was Indian,
Mm-hmm.
and my other friend invited. I went to two weddings and one was from Sri Lanka. And I was saying like how these people, I was like, dang, I want to get married. You know, you ask other racist questions. You be like, the husband take care, this husband take care. I'm like, dang, that's all you got to do. Like, I was looking at the reception part because everybody was just pretty, and they were like, yeah, I'm a wife. Oh, my husband, he paid the bills. All I do is pay like, what she said, like a cable bill, light bill. I always like, I want a life like that. Like, I don't want to pay rent. I don't want to pay rent. I don't want to pay mortgage. I was like, just pay light and water bill. That's it. And then, you know, in the black community, you be like, black parents be like, oh, why this light on? How light bills is? The black single moms be like, turn the lights up. I'm paying this. I pay all the bills. I pay this. Ain't no man doing this. I was like, I don't never want to be that. So I made sure I, I don't want to pay no mortgage. I don't want to pay no rent. All I want to pay is a cable bill, light bill, and maybe gas in my car. I made sure I was gonna be like that. I was like, and anybody I have sex with, have baby, I was like, they're gonna have health insurance, life insurance, in case my situation, my daddy, me and my brother daddy got killed. They ain't gonna be without nothing. They gonna be left with something in case any
Mm-hmm.
situation like that. I'm making sure I'm not, no, y'all can be a boss all day. Y'all can be a boss all day, be struggling to pay bills, be paying all the bills, have all the problems, the weight on the world to you, the house weight on you, the job weight on you, then the social media weight on you. Not me. I ain't
Mm-hmm.
want to like that. They can be a boss all day. They can pay the bills all they want. Like some man, if you doing everything, you paying the mortgage, you paying the light bill, you paying all the utilities, water bill. What you gonna leave your husband to come do? Your husband don't need to do nothing because you already doing everything. So what is he there for? Why he just sitting there? Why he coming in your life for? You already
Exactly.
did it. You already got everything. What he just gonna take the trash out? That's what he gonna do. That's all he can have to do. Take the trash out, mow the lawn. Not me.
Well, you see, I'm glad you said that, because what it's telling me and what I'm getting from this is women are warring against themselves. Their anatomy tells them, their biology, their body tells them that they're feminine, right? But the way that they react, the way that they move, they want to be masculine at the same time too. I never could understand that. That's just so confusing to me. I never could understand how you want to be on the same level, but your anatomy, nature tells you you're not on the same level. If you got a man in the house, he should be able to take care of everything. I'm of this mindset. My mindset is as simple as this. If I'm in a relationship with, I don't care with any woman, whoever it is, I'm gonna take care of everything. That's just what it's gonna be. We have the lights on, I'm taking care of that. We have, bills to pay, I'm taking care of that. All that's gonna be taken care of, because I believe in what's called PPC: provision, protection, and care. I'm supposed to provide, I'm supposed to protect, I'm supposed to care. It's my God-given ability to do that. And if I'm not doing that, I cannot wear the banner of what's called MAN, man. I'm not a man. I'm what's called a man child. But that same woman at the same time, I expect her to have what's called LSG. And I'm not talking about LSG the group. It's not Laverne, it's not Lavert, Johnny Gill and whatever his other name was. It's not none of that. It's loyalty, submission, and gratitude. Because I do believe that submission is a very powerful thing when it comes to women. Submission is a woman's weapon. When women submit, they are in line. See, you look at Lala right now, she is at peace. You look at her, you could tell her life is in order because she's submitting to the man. I mean, the man that she's with. You can hear it. She basically told you he's the head, she's the neck, and then you have her children. She's managing the children in the home. This is biblical ordinance right now. She's in line with God. She's in line with God's commandments. So because she's in line, she gets blessed for that. This is how women get their blessing. This is how women are able to be productive through their submission. Submission is not a weak thing, it's a powerful thing because a man needs a woman that's going to be able to acquiesce to the fact that he has to go out there and deal with the bullshit in society, especially being a black man. Y'all don't understand how hard it is to be a black man, man. The second you step out of your door, you dealing with the shit. You're being judged. You're being marginalized. You're being looked upon as you're less than. And then to turn around and have black women on top of that spit at you. This is why I was cringing, man. I wanted to punch my whole computer screen when I saw Vivica Fox, I saw Claudia Jordan, I saw, yes, we going there, Lisa Ray, I saw Salina Johnson get on their soapbox and basically wish and celebrate Kevin Samuels' death. That really made me feel some type of way, and it showed me why we have these problems that we have between black men and black women. And if you look at it, these women that were sitting here saying, she wanted to make sure that was her punchline. Oh, he croaked over when he was sleeping with, the woman, to basically try to make fun of the fact that he was having sexual relationship, but maybe, I don't know, his heart stopped, his heart didn't work, whatever. He died having fun. Who gives a fuck? You are sitting here, you're of his same age, you're bitter. Then you have a relationship with 50 Cent. You said that on that same show. I judge people by their body language and their actions. I don't judge them by their words. I judge them by that. And when she talked about the 50 Cents, her reaction, her triple chin basically grew to 12 fucking chins when she talked about 50 Cents. Because she sat there and she said, well, he was the love of my life. And I didn't like the fact that he broke up with me at a radio station. But see, I didn't go off of that. I went off of the meat and potatoes of what she said. She said he broke up with me because he felt that I was challenging him. What fucking man wants a woman to challenge him in a relationship as if you're trying to be the man too? You said on that same show that you wished Kevin Samuels croaked over and died, that 50 Cent was the love of your life. So the reason why you mad at Kevin Samuels is not because you mad at Kevin Samuels. You mad at the fact that Kevin Samuels basically is in a position where he's in his life that you're not in because you, as the woman, prioritize masculine energy. You prioritize feminism instead of acquiescing to 50 Cent. You probably would have still been in that fucking relationship if you would have submitted. Then we have Lisa Ray. She got with this guy, Michael Misnick, who was basically a prime minister in the Turks and Caicos. And she thought that he was a beta male provider. I got with him because, I didn't really like him physically, but, what he could do for me or whatever. Oh, okay. You see, this is what you don't understand. High value men always win. They always win. Oh, you thought he was that? You forgot. He has status. He has a position of power. He is in a position where things are always going to be at his disposal. She didn't value him until Nicole Murphy came about. Oh, now then next thing you know, you saw her running her mouth, basically spewing all negative things about another black woman. Why? Was it really you were spewing things about another black woman? Or were you spewing things about another black woman that looked just as good as you and you was feeling some type of way? See, we got to be honest about these things, man. Then you go and you trick off that situation and you screw that situation over, and then you want to turn around and make it seem like all of a sudden is because to make yourself feel good. Oh, I got with him because of what he could no. The reason why the relationship ended, and we know this to be true, is because Dwayne Martin, who was the guy that linked you and that prime minister together, introduced him to Nicole Murphy. And once Nicole Murphy came into the equation, now all of a sudden Michael Misnick becomes someone that you're running after. See, there's an old saying that says a woman don't want a man until another woman wants him. And shit, let that other woman look just as good, if not better than her. It's fucking over. Then you got Claudia Jordan. She's the worst of them all. She's running her rabbit ass mouth, but for some reason, she cannot keep a relationship. For some reason, she cannot keep herself together. And every time you hear her talk, is because she has outrageous standards. And she has this, he needs to be 6'4", 6'5". He needs to have 7 figures. He needs to have this, he needs to have that. Okay. Do you have 7 figures? Do you have 6 figures? Do you have 5 figures? Do you even have anything that represents anything in your mind that tells him that you bring something of value? And let's say you don't even need, you have money or whatever, because we don't really care about that equation. Are you submissive? Do you bring something of value to the table? Are you willing to cook meals? Are you willing to be domesticated? Well, shit, you're just way too old at this point. But I'm talking about her and her years when she was able to bake and have kids. Are you willing to be at home mom if you want all of these things? Because if you want somebody that's going to provide at that level, these are the things that they're going to be expecting from you. So she jumps from relationship to relationship. She gets this high body count, and she's right there with Vivica Fox laughing their ass off. Then you have Shilena Johnson. Of course, she's married of the group, but she's married to a guy that's emasculated, an effeminate male that she's slapping around from reality TV to reality TV. This guy's just taking her shit. And then she tells you on one of her shows, oh, I emotionally cheated on him. See, I don't talk about stuff without first doing research on it. I always do research on something before I talk because I don't like to sound stupid in anything that I talk about. So she said, I emotionally cheated on him. Do you know when a woman emotionally cheats on you, that means she already cheated on you? She's basically telling you she already fucking cheated. Because how does a woman cheat? They cheat through their emotions. Women don't just wake up and just start cheating. If a woman is emotionally drawn to somebody else, that means the cheating has already fucking happened. So is he going to be the dodo head? Is he going to be the beta male? Is he going to be basically the lesser than to accept that? And that's what he's done. He's accepted the fact that he is basically the pushover and she could do whatever. This is why her ass is still married. And these 4 women have the nerve, the audacity to talk about a black male who's uplifting other black men, telling other black men, because he's not just getting on these women. He's telling these other black men, level the fuck up. You can't expect to check a bitch if you ain't got nothing to check with your balance sheet, with your wallet, with your ability to be able to, have something to where you can keep her resources. He's telling these men they need to get their shit together. Go get you a vocational, technical, go get you a trade, go get you something. Make sure that you bring something of value to the table and not your penis. It's good to be able to, say that you're good in bed and all of that stuff, but that's really like nothing compared to the basis between what a relationship is all about between a man and a woman. This is what he's talking about. And then these other women that are 35 and above, average looking, having all this baggage, trauma, and all of these social issues and norms going on with them. They're expecting what? For them to get a guy that's 6'6", 7 figures. This is the fucked up shit that we're dealing with between us. And you know what's interesting? If you look at every other groups of people outside of black men and black women, they all got it together. They all, for the most part, are in family environments, family situations. But for the most part, we're not in that. Why is that?
It's not just black men, black women, because some black men and black women that in African countries they married, the Caribbean countries they married. It's just I told you, America. That's it. Because America be like, oh my God, you don't have to stay with this person. Oh my God, some like some Caribbean cultures don't believe in divorces. They be like the man he go out there and cheat, be having these other kids, and then the mama be sitting up there miserable. And then she stayed with him. Then when the kids grow old, they be like, why you stay? Why you leave? And they be like, well, we don't believe in divorce. We don't believe in this. We don't believe in that. That's just us. And then I really never watched Fox Soul because I really stopped watching Fox when they took Mad TV off. So that's when I stopped watching Fox. So only person I know Vivica Fox. I don't know them personally, and Lisa Ray from TV shows. The rest of the people I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I seen that clip with my friend. She sent me with the Kevin Samuels thing about Vivica A. Fox. But I feel like I never really watched Kevin Samuels unless the clip that people sent me. But I personally liked him, and people used to get mad because I said I liked him. This is why I liked him, because when the clip that made him go viral, when he was like average at your best, that's the first one I seen. I was laughing because I'm like, so then I had went, somebody seen, so you gonna click his name, then you're gonna start watching videos. That's the only time I watch him. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, wait, this a call-in show? So my friend, she was mad. I'm like, I said, that's like if you go into a mechanic, you said I got this happened. The mechanic gonna tell you all the things you said happen. Of course, they gonna tell you more because they want the money. They calling in on the show, asking for advice, asking for all this stuff. That's like you come to somebody. He just was like this. He was like, "This the mirror. These are things wrong with you. Look at yourself in the mirror. Not look at your physical self in the mirror. Look at your inner self in the mirror." That's what he was bringing out there. Look at your inner self. Stop looking at your physical self. Because everybody be like, if I can put on makeup, if I can wear nails, if I can get a lace front wig, nobody want to look at the inner self in the mirror. To me, I feel like he was like, look at the inner self of the mirror. Now, some stuff he did say wrong, but take the good with the bad. Don't get mad.
What's the wrong that you felt he said?
I really never watched him. I just seen one lady when he died. He was like, he was telling people if your child got touched, don't listen to the kids. I'm just saying, everybody, you're not gonna agree with everything everyone like, but take the good and
Okay.
the bad.
Okay.
Don't get bad. Don't get mad at the messenger. Just receive the message. You can take
Mm-hmm.
what you don't, what you don't. He was basically like, look at in his mirror, look at inner self. You see what you know all your problems. You know what you gotta fix. You call him. Why are you getting mad calling somebody that you asked for advice? They want you to tell them about unicorn stuff. They want you to tell them pretty it up for you. And you know this man wasn't gonna pretty it up for me, pretty it up for them. If they said he mostly was talking to men, then that's when women started calling. If he was going in on a man, why would you think he would go in nice on you for a person his color? Sometimes it takes somebody that look like us to tell us the truth for us to really wake up and like, oh man, I
Mm-hmm.
was this wrong. Oh man, I really didn't see anything like that. If somebody don't look like you, they ain't never been what you've been through. They can't feel what you feel. They can't tell you, relate to you.
Facts.
Everybody will tell you stuff that you like. Your parents ain't gonna tell you everything you wanted to hear. Your significant other ain't gonna tell you everything what you want to hear, even in your kids. So people just, I feel like people, when the social media age, people just want to fake mad. They really don't be mad because they sit down like, oh man, that really was the truth. Oh man, but people just fake to be mad and jump on the bandwagon. That's how I feel with social media. Like I'm not mad, but since they mad, I'm gonna say I'm mad. That's how I feel
So
with
you
social
feel
media.
our people are allergic from hearing the truth. They just scared to hear the truth.
They ain't allergic. They hear the truth, but they just don't want to accept the truth.
Mm.
They just
And
want
why
to
you
play.
think why you think they don't want to accept it?
Because if they accept the truth, that mean they got to change their ways and they got to wake
Woo.
up and face reality.
Mm. Hmm. Yeah, I think you need to say that one again, man. People need to hear that. Mm. Mm. It's the truth. We live in a society and we live in a world where, and it's us as black men and black women. I'm holding us both accountable because I don't like to be too heavy handed on one side. My whole mindset is building up black men so that they can start buzzing fucking testosterone and be men, be masculine. But I also at the same time want to give credit to the black women that get it. And it seems that you get it. Most of them don't fucking get it, but you get it. And the biggest thing that people got to understand is this is what we got to get to. I believe, and I said this yesterday on another live with another fellow brother of mine's, that we're in a state of mind where God is basically resetting us back. I'm seeing hope. I'm not always seeing this thing in such a adverse and a kind of like a controversial light. I'm also seeing the positivity. I'm seeing that our people is now starting to get the wolves that was upon our eyes, the blinds that was over our eyes, is starting to come off because you're starting to see us challenge the system. You're starting to see us want to get back to a state of originality, get back to a state where we want things to be in order. But it starts with the dynamics between the black man and the black woman. Black women need to get up under their black men, support them, submit to them in all things. And of course, it has to be a situation where the black man is stepping up and doing what he's supposed to. Nobody's sitting here and saying for you to just submit to anybody. that is basically playing video games all day, doesn't have purpose, and basically doing whatever. I would never say that. I'm talking about a guy that's going out there making it happen each and every single day. There's not a day, anybody that's been around me notice, there's not a day that I go, I'm not exhausted. I wake up, my mind is always thinking on something. If I'm not focused on business, I'm out there in the gym. If I'm not in the gym doing my thing, then I'm working. If I'm not working, then I'm back, and then at the same time coming up with ideas and strategizing on what's the next thing. I every day, every night, shoot, I'm so exhausted every day that I half the times I don't even make it to my bed. I find myself waking up on my couch. That's how exhausted I am from working every day. You're supposed to be like that. That's a biblical ordinance. That's a commandment given to you from God. If a man doesn't work, he shall not eat. I'm exhausted every day, man. I don't waste moments. I take every moment for what it is. So I'm always challenging myself. And this is what I want to see from other men. Challenge yourself to be like that. Be exhausted every fucking day from what you're doing. If you're not doing that, then you're not doing what you're supposed to. So she's right. And I'm glad that she didn't look at Kevin Samuels as, evil person. What Kevin Samuels was doing, he was challenging. And here's my take on it, Lala. They sit here and get on Kevin Samuels for doing the right thing, but then you got rappers calling them bitches, hoes, sluts in music, telling them I want to bust all that nut on you, all that shit. And they sitting there shaking their ass to that shit. They sitting there loving it. These rappers treat them like fucking toilet. They treat them like basically they wiping their ass crack with them, but they loving that shit. You see, that's that idea of the bad boy mentality, the guy that sits there and treats you like shit, but you still want to be there. You still want to deal with it. But then you have the Kevin Samuels that's basically giving you knowledge, giving you understanding, giving you wisdom, that's trying to uplift you and build you up. And then you sit there and say, oh, fuck him. He was a cancer to us. And like Vivica Fox, oh, he croaked over and he killed away. When she said that shit, man, that shit unnerved the hell out of me. That just showed me that she doesn't only think like that. There's a lot of these motherfucking women that think like that. I call them Jezebel wicked witches. That's what I call them. And these women, men, if I were you, stay far away from these women. Do not procreate with these women. Do not have children, because that mindset will pass on in the next generation. This is why I believe God is resetting us and killing off all of this nonsense. These Vivica Foxes, they eventually gonna croak over and die too. They sitting here making this judgment about him killing away, where they gonna kill away too. And when you judge somebody a certain way, you best believe that judgment is coming back to you the same way you judge that motherfucker. Judge lest ye be judged. That's just the way it rolls. So I'm glad that you sat there and said that, because you can't shoot the messenger. You're right. I don't agree with everything Kevin Samuel says, but the meat and potatoes of what he's saying, the message itself, the core value of the message, what is wrong with a message that's telling you to uplift yourself and build yourself up? Have we as Black people have gotten so cancel cultured to the point to where we can't hear nothing? I mean, shit, motherfuckers just don't want to hear anything that challenges their mindset, that challenges the system. And like you said, it's because they don't want to change. They're not willing to change, and they're not willing to graduate from their state of being. They want to keep doing what they're doing. They want to keep going out there spending $500 on the wig. They want to keep going out there, hitting up the clubs, blowing money, getting, you know what I'm saying, basically more children, getting fucked in the club, doing all this other bullshit and fuck shit, and then come back and say, well, I have problems. Fuck him. Well, where did you meet him at? What did you think was going to happen? The club is the most artificial place because you have a whole bunch of people in there stunting, lying their fucking ass off. These people, it's not reality. Now, some people are what they are, but how the fuck are you going to know that in an artificial environment like that? And then you want to turn around and basically get mad at the world. A lot of Black women have unresolved baggage, trauma, and mental issues. A lot of black men have this. This is why I'm an advocate of us as a society, black men and black women, to start getting fucking therapy. Start seeing a therapist, man. If you look outside of our black social norms and you look at other races and other ethnicities, they see therapists on the regular. A lot of motherfuckers have a lot of unresolved and pent up issues, and they're not getting help for it. And if you're not helped and you're not getting help in your situation, and then you go into other situations, you got so much broken people getting together in brokenness. What do you think is going to happen? It's going to create more fucking brokenness. And you can't lean on your partner expecting your partner to be that therapist. It's not their job to therapize you. It's their job to be in a relationship with you. Let me say it again. It's not their job to therapize you. It's their job to be in a relationship with you. So you can't put that responsibility on them. And you got a lot of these women that's expecting that shit from these men. And when these men can't give them that, oh, he's not the man that I thought he was. Motherfucker, you ain't all together too. You coming in with all this baggage, all this trauma. That's why I'm a firm believer. If people are going to get into relationships, they're going to get in serious relationships, they need to be asking people questions like, how was your childhood? You know, how is your family dynamics? You need to know all of this shit. Because if you're going to be around motherfucker all the time, you need to know all of these nuances. Because let me tell you something. If these nuances have been a recurring behavior and a recurring manifestation of issues in their lives, it's going to infect and basically come around you. And you're going to have to deal with that. What you got to say with that?
They have sex first, then ask questions last. That's all they do. But when I had met my significant other, let me see. Well, he ain't here yet, but before we even started talking, I asked him 1,000,002 questions. You can ask him. I asked him 1,000,002 questions before I even talked to him. Then it was like 2 months later. I asked my friend, "Y'all think I should go ahead?" My one friend like, "Yeah." I asked him 1,000,002 questions. When the last time you had sex with this person, with anybody? Do you got any STDs? Do y'all got any family health issues? Are you broke? Like, do you got baby mamas? Like, I ain't never want to go with nobody. I ain't have kids. Why would I want to go with somebody that do have kids? If your mama bald head, I don't want bald head kids. I mean, it's okay if you have a bald head baby to help grow, but you gotta ask serious questions. Nobody want no broke people. Nobody don't want to struggle. We already seen enough black people struggling. Why do I want to keep struggling? If you struggling, I don't want to go with nobody that's struggling.
And why you don't want to deal with somebody that's struggling?
I'm a health coach. I'm already broke. I got enough money, but shit, I ain't rich. On social media, they make everybody rich. I ain't got time to be broke and then go with somebody broke. Well, minimum wage. Wait. I ain't broke. I ain't broke, but I ain't rich. But being like, I ain't got time.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You want somebody that has in our Haitian Creole language, we say moyen, but it means someone that has some status and some ability to be able to provide and take care, which is what the dynamics of what you have, I'm believing right now in your household, right? Someone that contributes, right?
No, my boyfriend, now last year, he started getting a 4-bedroom house built for my kids. So I ain't nothing to worry about. They ain't got nothing to worry about. They got a house, I got a house.
There you go.
Right now we renting a house, but they got a house, I got a house. They ain't got
and you
time
know what? Your smile is telling me that you're in a good position. You happy. I can see that. I can see that you're in a happy place. And see, this is her example, her visage, her facial expressions is telling you guys this is what it's all about. You hear what she said? He's building them a house, but at the same time, he's providing for them in the position that they're in right now. This is what is the dynamics between a man and a woman. A man don't care about a woman's education. He doesn't care about her degrees and all that. Man, women that I've been with, I've sat them down, and when they wanted to go and get education, I said, okay, go ahead. And I've sat there and worked 2 jobs. I've sat there and done these things, work overtime, and provide, because that's all I know. I know how to go and get my hard hat out. I know how to hustle. There's a reason why I've been in 5 long-term relationships. There's a reason why I always have women keep revolving. It's like a revolving cycle. They keep coming back because they could tell there's value with me. You come in, you're going to get value, instant fucking value, because of what I bring to the table. I don't need you to sit there. Listen, I don't need you to sit there and tell me about you got this degree, you got this education, you got. I don't care about all that bullshit. You know what I care about? It's the one intrinsic value that I care about: your submission. That's all I give a fuck about. There's men out there that will go down in looks for cooperation. And this is why you have a lot of these women that are so-called pretty, they can't get motherfuckers. Because at the end of the day, guys will go down in looks for cooperation. That's what I want. I want total submission. I don't play. I don't care what woman I'm talking to. Bend the fucking knee. That's me. It may be very a hard line to a lot of people, but that's the way that I understand it. You got to submit. Now I'm going to make sure you taken care of. I pay the cost to be the boss. I'm going to do what's asked of me as a man to make sure that I have the title of being the head. But every relationship I've been in, I've been the motherfucking head. I don't know this neck shit. And I don't know this backward shit where you're a pushover. I don't believe in that nonsense. And every relationship that I'm going to be in is going to continue to be that way. Because if I go out there, I hustle, because I'm a hustler, man. Like Jay-Z said, I'm a hustler, baby. I can sell water to a well. I do this shit. I do this on the regular. I hustle. So if I'm going out there, I'm hustling, making it happen, I'm expecting a certain way for a woman to acquiesce to me. I'm not going to mistreat her. I'm going to give her that movie experience. I'm going to make her feel like the woman she is. I'm not going to disrespect her. I'm not going to call her names. I'm not going to do none of that. Nah, you're always going to have a movie experience with me. You're going to feel good. I'm not perfect. I'm not a perfect individual. I have my faults. But you're not going to sit here. There's not a woman that's either been with me in the past or women that are dealing with me now that will sit here and tell you, this guy right here, you know, he has not taken care of me, or he hasn't, you know, all the way around. I mean, shit. I've had women in the past tell me, dudes they dealing with now to come back. They always come back. They always do. It wasn't the level. It wasn't the level that you gave. And you want to know why? Because I give them a standard. Because I expect a standard. So if I'm expecting a standard, I'm going to give you a motherfucking standard. And this is the message that I'm telling the men out there. If you command a certain thing, you got to be a certain way too. It cuts both ways. If you look at Lala, she's happy. I don't see her stressed. I don't see her like in her mind worrying like what you know, next food to hand out. I see her at peace because she's found someone that has put his hard hat on and has decided, I'm going to be the man, and I'm going to decide to deal with this situation that I have in front of me, take care of her and take care of the children. I'm going to make sure she's well taken care of, as long as she's doing what she's supposed to and fulfilling her womanly duties. See, this go hand in hand. And when Black women get to this original state of mind where they start realizing this is where we can reset and get back to a place of peace. This is where the healing starts in our community. It starts with Black women taking off the cloak of feminism. This goes back to the Garden of Eden, man. When you had Adam that looked like me and you had an Eve that looked like Lala. Yes, Adam and Eve look like us. They ain't look like nobody else. Don't get that shit twisted. We the chosen people. And I could argue that thing down with anybody. Adam looked like me. Eve looked like her. And you know what happened? There was this, what we would say, nemesis that came in, pumped her head up, because that was the first sign of feminism. And once he pumped her head up in the first sign of feminism, what she did, she went against the man. Because God made it clear. Out of all the fruit, out of everything that y'all can eat, but out of this one right here, y'all can't touch it. Adam acquiesced to it because he knew what time it was. But Eve, curious beaver, boy, that's something in that woman's DNA, boy. They curious like a motherfucker. And he was able to swoop say he saw it. That nemesis saw, oh, okay, this one right here, she curious as a motherfucker. If I could just swoop say her real quick and I could charm her up real good, I could, and see, this is what you started seeing. You started seeing a lot of first elements of everything. You started seeing hypergamy. You started seeing pre-selection. You started seeing female nature. All of these things. This was the beginning element of it all. Like, okay, he sounds like, you know what I'm saying? Adam just straightforward, but this one right here, he's smooth, he charm. I like his swag. I like the way he's saying what he's saying. And she allowed herself to be seduced. And then once she did that, hey, Adam, here. He could have led and said, nah. And see, this is where we also saw the first sign of a man not leading and saying, hey, what you doing, woman? Didn't God tell us not to touch this thing? Didn't God tell us not to eat this thing? But he didn't do that. He acquiesced. So you start to see a lot of first signs of everything. He became the neck in that moment. She was the head in that moment. And the situation became what it became. And this is honestly what it boils down to. So when it's all said and done, this is what we're dealing with as individuals. This is what we're dealing with as people. This is what we're dealing with in normal instances between the relationships of man and woman. We're dealing with this bullshit and this fuck shit of there's not a resetting. There's not organization. There's not a standard of what things should be. Because the standard is God is the head of Christ. Christ is the head of man. Man is the head of woman. And the woman is the head of children. Women are supposed to be the managers of children in the home. Lala admitted that. She said that. This woman's blessed, man. Because she gets it. She said she didn't get it through being raised, but she got it. God obviously touched her and said, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I preserve you and you have this. When women start getting into this mindset of understanding that this is how it should be and stop warring against their own bodies, their own DNAs, then this is when we start resetting, we start healing as a fucking people, and we start moving on. And guess what? Our blessings are going to find us back again. What you got to say on that?
All they do just gotta wake up. It's like when they put a frog in the glass and then they put the glass on the stove. The frog, he can get out. He can jump out anytime he wants. They turn it up. The frog just stay there. Turn it up some more. The frog just stay there. Turn it up some more. The frog just stay there. If you tap the glass and he don't get out, he can just hop out. Sometimes the frog just sit there. Oh, I like it. It's getting warmer. I like it. It's getting warmer. And the frog just die.
Yep.
They either wake up or die. That's all. Wake up or die. Wake up or die. They only got two options. Wake up or die. You only live once that you know of. That's all. They live once. Ain't no coming back. If you do come back, you ain't gonna come back to the same person, the same body. You might come back a roach, a bee. Wake up or die. That's the only thing. Wake up or die. They better wake up because guess what? The coffee burning. They can't get mad. Oh, he choosing this outside his race. Well, you wasn't doing your job. So guess what? You weren't doing your job. Not somebody else gonna do your job. Just like the job. They fire people every day. You've been on the job for 20 years. They got somebody else younger than you, more energy than you, better than you, might look like similar like you, but people born every day.
Yep. So basically what you're saying is it's like the stiff-necked Israelites that basically circled for 40 years and they wasn't getting the message that Moses was telling them. So God had to kill away, generation, until there was a generation that finally got it. And he said, okay, you as a generation, y'all can get into the promised land now. Y'all can go ahead and sip on that land filled with milk and honey. Well, this is what it is with our people. We gonna keep being in that stiff neck circling of the desert for 40 years until we get it. Until we start understanding this is the originality of things. This is how life is supposed to be. There's nothing wrong with a woman submitting. And there's nothing wrong with a man going out there and earning the title of being a man. See, this shit cuts both ways. When a man earns that title to be the man, then he has every right to demand that a woman submits to him. There's nothing wrong with that.
If they can earn a degree, they can earn a man.
They
What's hard? A degree or a man. Only thing with the degree, you gotta take the time, take the money, and remember, a man. I think that's pretty easier. You ain't gotta have a lot of money to get a man, but you do
mm-hmm.
gotta have a lot of money to get a degree.
Yep. And then here's the thing too. When they sit there and put all this education, all this first, right? They don't realize the debt that comes back behind that they're bringing into the relationship. That they're gonna go probably up until their 80s, 90s, 100. They got debts that they got to pay back. Some people are able to pay their debts off very fast and and this cuts both ways. This is for both man and woman. They can pay their debts off very quickly and stuff like that. But in the grand scheme of things, in the biggest picture of things, this is also what you bring into the table too. You bring in a liability and not an asset to the situation. And that's what people need to see. So Lala, I ain't gonna hold you that much longer because we did say we was gonna keep it around this period of time. Any closing thoughts on anything that you got to say on our first live?
Wake up or die. That's it. Wake up or die. That's it.
I see this is gonna be an entertaining live, man. I'm gonna confess, I'm gonna be honest, Lala. I didn't know the engagement between us was gonna be like that. Some guy said, y'all willing to speak on education for the children from the parents outside of school. I don't know what that person means. I don't know what they're trying to say.
I'm
But
trying to read.
you was trying to read it?
Yeah, I was trying to understand what he was saying. Like, you mean homeschool or I don't know.
Yeah.
I kept rereading and see what he was gonna say.
Yeah, I don't even understand. I don't even understand what this person's trying to say. But this is the thing where we try to tell people y'all need to fall in line and stay on context of what we're talking about. And if y'all ask questions in the comment sections or y'all say things, make sure it's in line with the topic at hand. We're talking about the dynamics and the demographics between black men and black women. But anyways, Lala, my confession is I thought this was gonna be challenging. I thought it was gonna be adverse. You know what I'm saying? So I was ready. I was ready. I had my boxing gloves on. I was ready to go. But this wasn't none of that. So this is how I know, and this is our first time behind the scenes. Me and Lala, we haven't really like talked much, not even on this topic or anything like that. It was me connecting with her to get her to see if she was willing to do this live. I'm glad that she was willing to do it. Tells me that this has been ordained by God for it to happen. But I'm more impressed than anything that this is how you came about with this, because this right here just confirmed why these lives are going to continue to take place, because now you're showcasing a standard of a black woman that black women can look at and ascribe to be in terms of what they should be in a household, in terms of how they should govern themselves, and in terms of how they should move when it comes to dynamics in a household between a black man and a black woman. Women are going to submit to men regardless. And I'm going to explain why I say this as I'm closing out. Either you're going to submit to the man willingly and the right way and do it accordingly. And of course, this has to be the right man, or you're going to submit through God basically punishing you in your old, insecure, and bitter as fuck years when you have to now live in regret, telling yourself, man, I should have did this. I should have did that. You're going to sound like the Dionne Warwicks. You're going to sound like the Moniques. These motherfuckers on their soapbox right now. And these are women that had access to multiple high value men. And they fucked that shit up over and over again. And now they're on their soapbox telling women, I shouldn't have prioritized my career. I shouldn't have prioritized this, because they realize as women, they have a biological clock and they have to fall in line with that biological clock. And if they don't fall in line with that, they ended up at older years, because let's be honest, everyone, whether we want to admit it or not, alpha, beta, male, female, it doesn't fucking matter. At some point in your life, motherfuckers want somebody that they can be with and they want companionship. We just have to be honest with this shit. And if you sitting here and you doing all this bullshit, I'm a feminist and I have masculine energy and I'm on the same level. No man gonna want to deal with your ass. They ain't gonna deal with your rabbit ass. And then you get to a certain age and then you wondering, well, damn, I really do want to be with that person. And that guy's looking at you like you're damaged. You got baggage. You got a lot of fucking trauma. And I'm not willing to deal with that. How about I deal with a younger version of yourself? And that's why a lot of older women are jealous and envious of these younger women, because these men ain't trying to deal with these motherfuckers that already went through it, hit the fucking wall, went over the damn wall, and didn't fucking get it. So if you didn't get it, that's all of that baggage, drama, and trauma that you're going to be trying to protrude and bring over here. You think I'm going to want to deal with that? You think I'm going to want to tolerate that? Or I'm going to deal with somebody that's moldable, somebody that I can deal with that can get it earlier on. And see, and that's what they're not understanding. Some guy, I'm going to say this and then we're going to close out. Well, I was speaking on how all the connections between man and woman could be made easier with what children see growing up from their parents. And why didn't you just fucking say that the first time? People always got to complicate shit. Just say that the first time and be done with it, man. So what do you want to say on that? We're gonna entertain that comment. What do you want to say on that, Lala? Being a parent.
I don't really got nothing to say.
Okay. She ain't got nothing to say. If she ain't got nothing to say, she ain't got nothing to say. I ain't got nothing to say on that. Next time, just make sure your comment come a little sooner because we about to close out. Those that listen to this live, we appreciate y'all. We coming at this thing strong every week, just like this. And it's only gonna get better and better.
I can't do it with June 5th, June whatever, 5th Saturday. I'm gonna be out of town Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. Well, as many times as we can do it, we're gonna do it. And we'll talk about that offline. But you'll let me know when you can't do it, and that's perfectly fine. And when I can't do it, that's perfectly fine too. But as many times as we're gonna do it, we're gonna get to it because this topic at hand is something that's very important, and we feel the need that we need to bring it up. And I feel like we got the two perfect people to really press on this and to really get it out to its forefront. It's been real. Y'all take care. Y'all be easy with yourselves. Don't do anything that we don't prescribe you guys to do. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see y'all when we see y'all again. Lala has been real. Appreciate you. Appreciate your contributions. Peace.